Hey ladies, this is Breanna from howtoblackhair.com, and I want to show you for beginners exactly how to do the invisible cornrows with the feed-in technique. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch me break down more hairstyles for beginners so that you can do them on yourself for free. Now let's get started with this beautiful look. These are some of the materials you will actually need to do your style. You only need a few supplies. Some of those supplies will include your favorite edge control, duck bill clips, hair cutting scissors, and a comb, as well as braiding hair. So now we got 2 sections left, and I will be demonstrating how to do the style. So far, this is exactly how your hair should look at this point. On this section, I will show you exactly how you need to part your hair. But first, you want to make sure you got some good braiding hair to begin. So to make sure you can easily see the style, I'm using red braiding hair, and I've divided about 7 sections of hair that I'm going to feed in for my cornrows. Make sure you start with the smallest section. Take the end of your rat tail comb and part through your section of hair, making sure that once you near the back, you part more narrow. Every time you do cornrow braids, you always want to part the widest at the front and the most narrow at the back, because the front of your hairline has more distance than the back of your hairline. This allows all your braids to reach the end. Now what we're doing is putting a little bit of edge control on the front part of our section so that our braids are very slick at the start. Now make sure you don't go at the very beginning of the hairline. That causes too much tension. Go back a little bit ways to start your braid. Start off with the very smallest piece of hair you've already sectioned and divide it into 2. Make sure that the smaller piece is a little smaller than the bigger side. So that way, when you wrap it around and bring those legs together, you formed 3 equal legs of braiding hair for your braid. So here will be 1 leg, the second, and the third. Now twirl your right hand underneath, open your index and your thumb to pinch that second leg. This is exactly how you want your hair positioned in your hands for your braid. You want to make sure you start a ways back, remember, not too close to the hairline. And you're just going to pinch a small piece of hair and begin braiding. Now, if braiding is a little difficult for you, I would highly suggest that you continue to practice. You want to make sure that you continue to repeat the process until the braid turns out just right. So what you're seeing me doing is I'm overlapping one piece over the other, interchanging the outer leg to come into the inside of the leg. Now, after braiding a couple of times, you will notice the braid got a little thicker, and you want to add your next piece. This is how you want to stretch it in your hands. Now, hook that hair underneath your index and your thumb. So that way you can grab that front section, put it over your head, and then braid a couple of ways. So as you can see here, I'm going as slow as possible to show you exactly how you want to feed in your real hair with your actual extensions. After braiding a couple times, you grab the next piece that was over your head to loop it in that same hand. So that way you can continue doing the feed-in technique as you're braiding. This allows for your braid to gradually get bigger. And it's very important that when you section your pieces of hair, they slightly get bigger in size. It's almost hard to tell exactly how big the pieces are getting. You want to slightly increase the size of each leg. This makes actually feeding in your hair very, very easy, because you want to have your hands available for braiding and not trying to use your other hand to constantly pinch off pieces of braiding hair. So you grab that piece and loop it in, and then you continue to braid, overlapping one piece over the other. One tip that I want you to keep in mind is you want to make sure to have a good feel for how thick the braid is getting, because this is an indication of when you need to add your next piece of hair. And every time you grab that hair to loop it in your index and thumb, make sure it's the same exact hand. Keep in mind that when you're adding braiding hair, with your left hand grabbing that hair into the braid, you always braid a couple of times and then grab the leg that was over your head back into your fingers. And that same hand that you added the braiding hair is the same hand you're gonna add the remaining leg, as you see here. So make sure to watch this tutorial multiple times, because doing this is going to help you to be able to achieve such a flawless braid. As I like to say, repetition deepens the impression. So if you continue to do this style over and over again on a mannequin head, on your sister's head, on your baby's head, on your head, it's going to help you to be able to achieve this style very flawlessly. So you're just going to continue braiding all the way down your section. And when you're that far down the back of your head, you don't have to keep adding pieces. You're going to mostly add pieces until about halfway down the length of your hair. Now, as you can see here, the outer leg always goes into the middle, so that way you're crossing each leg for your braid. And to make your braids even, you just pinch off some hair into that shorter leg, so that way it's problem solved. All your legs will be able to reach the very bottom. So as you can see, now that the braid is done, this is how beautiful it looks. And give me a thumbs up if you really love the red hair and you think this technique is amazing. So now that your braid is done, I hope the red hair really helped it pop to see exactly what you're doing along the steps of the way. If so, give me a thumbs up if you want to see more tutorials like this. Thank you so much for watching my Feed In Invisible Cornrow hair tutorial. I love doing these videos for you all, and I want to continue doing this, but to do so, I need help from all of you. Subscribe and thumbs up this tutorial to support this channel. Stay tuned because you don't want to miss the tutorial that's coming next.